Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Tonight's topic, we talk about the characteristics of a narcissistic personality disorder. Again, the name of this video is the characteristics of a narcissistic personality disorder. But before we get into the topic, we must understand the characteristics of a person who is generally narcissistic. Basically, this type of person is self-centered, they want to be put on a pedestal, self-absorbed, everything is about them. They have this feeling of entitlement that they're special, and the real characteristic is these individuals underneath have a low self-esteem, they're very insecure, and they can't take the truth or criticism. And when you try to tell them something, they react very emotionally and they lash out with shaming tactics. And that's a big problem because you can't communicate with individuals who have a narcissistic behavior because they're going to be irrational in thinking because, again, they cannot take defeat. They don't live in the real world. Basically, individuals with this disorder have a lack of empathy for other people, and they're inflated with ego and self-importance. Now, the hallmarks of a narcissistic personality disorder, it's based on having a grandiosity or fantasy, a lack of empathy for people, and a need for admiration. People in this condition, or people with this condition, basically they're described as arrogant, self-centered, self-absorbed, manipulative, and very, very demanding. Again, their expectations are unrealistic. They may also concentrate on grandiose fantasies such as their own success, even when they're not having any success. Talk about their brilliance and their beauty. Also, they are convinced that they deserve special treatment. Now, these characteristics begin in early adulthood, and they must be consistently evident in multiple contexts, such as work and in relationships. Now, people with narcissistic personality disorder believe that they are superior or special, and often try to associate with other people they believe are unique or gifted in some way. This association is going to enhance their self-esteem, which is typically quite fragile underneath the surface. Now, individuals with NPD or narcissistic personality disorder seek excessive admiration and attention in order to know that others think highly of them. Individuals with NPD have difficulty tolerating criticism or defeat and may be left feeling humiliated or empty when they experience an injury in the form of criticism or rejection. Now, with every mental disorder or personality disorder, are there symptoms associated with it? Absolutely correct. Narcissistic personality disorder is indicated by 5 or more of the following symptoms. The first symptom, exaggerating own importance. They want to feel important. Person is preoccupied with fantasies of success, power, beauty, intelligence, or ideal romance. Person believes that he or she is special and can only be understood by other special people or institutions. People with NPD require constant attention and admiration from others. They also have unreasonable expectations of favorable treatment. Individuals with NPD take advantage of others in order to reach their own goals. They also disregard the feelings of others and they lack empathy. Also, individuals with NPD are often envious of others or believe other people are envious of them. They're also arrogant and they have bad attitudes. Now, 50 to 75% of the people are diagnosed with NPD. Most of them are male. Additionally, it is common for many adolescents to display the characteristics that I just named. And I'm talking about the symptoms of being arrogant, unreasonable with their expectations, requiring constant attention, and other examples in the list. So, that being understood, that does not indicate that they will later develop an NPD. Now, causes of the narcissistic personality disorder are not yet understood. Genetic and biological factors, as well as environmental and early life experiences, are all thought to play a role in developing the condition. Now, there are treatments. Treatment for narcissistic personality disorder can be very challenging because people with the condition present a great deal of grandiosity and defensiveness, which makes it difficult for them to acknowledge problems and vulnerabilities. Individual and group psychotherapy may be useful in helping people with a narcissistic personality disorder relate to others in a healthier and more compassionate way. Mentalization-based therapy, transference-focused psychotherapy, and schema-focused psychotherapy have all been suggested as effective ways of treating a person with NPD, a narcissistic personality disorder. Like I said before, a number of people who are very narcissistic, they have this idea that they deserve to be put on a pedestal. In fact, NPD can also lead into schizophrenia. And I did schizophrenia 2 days ago, and schizophrenia also involves the delusional beliefs. Well, the delusional beliefs are also the unreasonable expectations. And you see a lot of narcissism in two areas: work and relationships. Now, particularly when it comes to men, men get their egos inflated. Women, on the other hand, a number of them have unrealistic expectations. If you don't believe me, you look at the feminist movement. In fact, the feminist movement is supposed to be based on equality, but it's really predicated on, number one, utilizing their narcissism when they're not getting their way to become a professional victim. However, they use the plight of sexism and discrimination as a shaming tactic to have policies go their way. And at the end of the day, they really didn't do any work except utilize the system. And their system is a selfish one because they don't care about anybody but themselves. Now, I'm not saying all women, I'm just talking about the feminist movement, because if you really think about it, a number of feminists aren't really looking for equality. They're looking for gender supremacy. That's the plight of their movement, regardless of what anybody says. Now, as far as males are concerned, you have a number of men who don't feel good about themselves. So in order to be superior, they want to make other people feel inferior. In fact, a number of men want individuals to cater to their egos. And this is where they will use an individual for their own success. In fact, you have in the workplace, a lot of these men are your bosses. So you have to remember, individuals are basically hung up on themselves. This is where the term self-absorption comes from. Individuals with a narcissistic personality disorder are very hard to deal with, because in their eyes, they have all the answers. They hate rejection. They don't like being wrong. even when they're wrong. In fact, a number of these individuals with NPD have a childlike behavior. When they don't get their way, you see how they react. If it's not stomping their feet, it's name calling, it's shaming, it's guilt tripping, it's utilizing their power, particularly in the workplace. If you don't comply, goodbye. That's exactly what a narcissistic person is. Unreasonable. How do we fix that? Well, you have to get individuals to understand that they're not above the rest of us. And the problem is, they can't handle when their ego is deflated. They can't handle criticism. But if you're realistic with them, you'll break them down. Trust me. I've had to break down a few narcissistic people. Because a number of narcissistic people cannot see the real world. In fact, they believe the only world is their world. But what you have to do is be honest with them. Now, here's the catch though. If they're not coachable, you can't help them. Out of all the personality disorders, the narcissistic personality disorder, now I'm just going by my own point of view, is going to be the most difficult to help somebody. Because these are individuals that have been told coming up from a child to an adolescent to an adult that they were everything and nobody else was better than they were. This is why a number of them don't deal well with competition, because they have the monopoly. And when I talk about a monopoly, well, they're the ones who believe that they are creating everything at their own expense. Everybody has to confide to them. And with that type of behavior, these individuals don't do well at work or relationships. So, the information that I'm giving you is by my own studies. And if you want to know more about narcissism as a whole, check out The Truth Hurts. Andrew Benjamin. He has the Truth Hurts channel. He's also on Facebook. He will give you a detailed breakdown of narcissism. He's done 155 videos on narcissism. I'm just giving you an overview because I'm going to utilize this topic when I do my blog talk radio shows. But what I wanted to do is just give you a taste of what I'm going to be delivering, because when it comes to any community, you're not going to be able to build anything unless you get your mind right. And at the end of the day, the only way you can get your mind right is to understand and accept that you as an individual has a problem. And what do you do when you have a problem? You solve the problem. And the best way to solve the problem is to get help. Because once you get help and you follow through what your doctor or your mental health professional is coaching you to do, you're going to be a better person. And once you're a better person, your self-esteem will be raised. And once it's raised, you can rely on who you are. You don't have to be narcissistic, because a narcissistic person is a dangerous person. Just remember that. Because they don't have any idea of who you are, because they don't care about you. They only care about them. So at the end of the day, selfish or self-centered people or narcissistic can be helped if they want to be helped. Because remember, if your mind is not right, you're never going to be right as a person. And that's the truth. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for this evening, Saturday, May 6th, 2017. You can tune in to the 411 Talk Zone radio show every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We had a fantastic show tonight. I talked about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. If you missed the show, you can click on the link under my video because the show is archived, or you can go onto my Twitter page or my Facebook page. But next week, I'm going to talk about schizophrenia. So you don't want to miss that show. So to participate, the guest calling number is 215-383-5785. That's right, it's 215-383-5785. Want to get on the air? Hit number 1 to get into the queue. Also, if you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube so I can continue to give you quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on this channel, I do not engage in emotion, controversy, or debates, nor do I participate in drama or unnecessary bickering. Why? It's counterproductive. This channel is for educational purposes only. My job is to give you the information from a realistic but positive perspective so you understand how the real world works and you'll have an alternative so you don't make the mistakes that are going to have you struggling. So remember, I keep everything positive because knowledge is power. And if you have a business, a topic, or a new YouTube channel that you would like for me to talk about on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave your comment in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy, no bloviating, pettifogging, or filibustering if you wish to opine. Now that's it for this video. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. Remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other and have a wonderful and blessed night. Good night.